Back in February, rally crews once again descended on Three Sisters Circuit in Wigan for the Buildbase Questmead stages. A tricky circuit for rally cars at the best of times and made even more challenging by some extreme weather faced not only by the crews but by our camera crew as well, especially their equipment. So we'll do something a little different with this review, a look at how the class and overall results were fought out and decided through the entire day just before our crew got washed away. There would only be one crew in the historic class, the Sunbeam of Kim and Yvonne Mather. Sadly, they didn't finish the rally, but they do deserve a mention as the pair were up to 15th place overall at one point during the day. Class A would start out as a bit of a two-horse race, but thankfully, even with the atrocious conditions on the stage, it would end that way as well. Both crews making it to the finish of the rally, and it would be Oliver Ward and Sophie Landon coming away with second in that battle. They were setting some good times, but it wasn't quite enough over the course of the 10 stages, meaning that victory would go to Michael Denton and Karen Phelps in the other micro. They take the class victory by 1 minute 26 seconds at the end of the event, as well as 41st place overall. Class B, though, would be a different story, starting off with 4 crews in the class, that number halving by the end of the day. Stephen Brown and Andy Rose will be the early leaders in the class in that micro kit car, but their event would come to an end with the help of a tyre wall. There'd be problems as well for Bruce Lindsay. They would finish the rally, but under super rally conditions, adding on a huge amount of time to their overall total. But with the problems for others, it would mean that they took a fairly surprising, shall we say, second place in the class by the end of the event. That would lead the victory in the class to Rob Jones and Christopher Cook, taking that position earlier in the day with the loss of Brown and holding on to it while the others fell away. They end the rally with 30th place overall. Class C would be one of the best represented here on the rally, thanks in part to a very well represented Mini Cooper challenge that had been set up by John Goff. So it would be no surprise that there were some close battles being fought. That is, of course, the aim of this series. And indeed, there'd be a number of those mini crews fighting it out for the class podium positions throughout the day as well, showing just how competitive these cars could be. For Mick Smith and Paul Stringer, it would be second. They were around 40 seconds ahead by the end of the event in that position. And it was a place that they'd held on to all day as well, even starting out the rally with the second fastest time in the class. But it wouldn't be Minis on top, although they were having an adventure. That honour would go to Robert Iverson and Russell Robertson, taking the class victory by 35 seconds, as well as 15th place on the overall leaderboard. We'd see some retirements in Class D, including from the top of our leaderboard, Rob Cox and Lauren Hewitt retiring in the afternoon after lying in second place for most of the morning. Meanwhile, there'd be some great pace being set by some of the crews in that class, including Colin and Mark Blunt, who climb up the overall leaderboard to end the rally with third in the class after being 7th for most of the day. Craig and Danny Fairhurst had been close to the top, so they were able to pick up a position when we lost Rob Cox. They'd end the rally with second place in the class as a result. But taking that class victory would be Jason and Lee Wilson. A strong end to the rally, finishing minutes ahead of others in the class and well inside the top of the overall results as well, with 5th place overall. That Darien must have been a handful in the wet and resembling something of a bathtub, no doubt. Let's take a look then at how the top 10 overall shaped up. Of course, that gives us our Class E results, but for now we start with 10th place and the escort of Berwyn and Murray Evans, getting a few places overall through the day in the afternoon stages. For Nigel Worswick and Sophie Buckland, things didn't change much. In fact, they would actually drop a little through the afternoon, ending the rally 9th place overall in the Fiesta. Not much of a pre-Barbados test this night. For Dave Roberts and Nigel Perkins, it will be 8th place this weekend. The escort pair increasing their pace as the day went on to move a few positions higher by the end of the day. And it will be a similar story for Mark Roberts and Steve Landon. They hold on to 7th place for the majority of the day in their stunning ex-NASA Alatir and, more importantly, ex-John Stone Fiesta. With 2021 being something of a write-off, I think we can all agree that. And only 3 events done in the car. You would still class this as a relatively new car for Jonathan Mounsey and Richard Wardle. Their first event of the year, and getting back into the swing of things again since Mull last year. They end the rally 6th place overall, not bad. 5th place will be our Class D winners, Jason and Lee Wilson in the Darien. We mentioned them a little earlier, of course. And finishing just 4 seconds ahead of them will be Simon Bowen and Richard Robinson. The pair have been having fun out on the stages, taking advantage of these conditions to slide that Fiesta around at every opportunity, taking a few tyres and cones out in the process in places. But they have a good run in the end to take 4th place overall this weekend. One of the fan favourites on the event this weekend, and it always is, isn't it, will be Mark Jasper and Don Wyatt in that Metro 6R4. Always drawing a crowd and standing out on the stages, and of course this pair know how to pedal on as well. Plenty of experience in this car. They end the rally with the final step on the podium, only 43 seconds off our rally leaders. For John and Alex Stone, winners of the event when it rang back in 2020, the last time. It wasn't to be for victory this weekend, but 2nd place was not something they would be disappointed with. They end the rally just 13 seconds off that lead as well. So that does mean it's victory for Mark Kelly and Neil Coleman. They've done a lot of work on the car over the winter. This will be the first time out in a number of months, shaking down this car for the season ahead. And things couldn't have gone much better, could they? They do have a few moments out there, especially when they went out on a drying track with slicks only for a delay to hold them until after a torrential downpour before they get the green light. But they survive it all to take a well-deserved victory here on the 2022 Buildbase Questmead stages. So an eventful rally, whether you were inside a rally car watching from the sidelines or indeed behind a rally TV camera. Here's a look at how those final times shaped up on the overall results.